It's now time for Ermanni and Edwards with Maz, live on the Woodward Sports Network. Every day, 2 to 4 p.m. Starring Ryan Ermanni, Michigan great and former NFL baller Braylon Edwards, and of course, Tom Mazawey. Let's talk some sports.
And here we go, Tuesday, December 13th, 2022. Ermanni and Edwards with Maz, Woodward Sports Network, woodwardsports.com, fox2detroit.com, the Fox 2 app. If you are watching live on those platforms, we certainly appreciate it. However you are consuming Woodward Sports, we say hello. Braylon Edwards, I say good afternoon to you, my friend.
Hold on, man. Let me get my personal fan.
Oh, Braylon's got the fan down below. We have banned him from using the air conditioning in the winter.
Okay.
Yeah.
Everything's perfect. Ryan, Maz, good day to you guys. Fletch JB. You know what, man? Happy holidays to folks. I want people to start getting into the Christmas spirit more. I think we have a ton to be thankful for and to be grateful for. And I think that I was in a gas station just a second ago and I was hooking up the guys, hooking up the squad. And
Braylon brought in Haribo gummy bears for everybody today.
They're the best. Except Stick. Don't worry, Stick. I got you. I'm gonna get you some as soon as the show's over. Thanks, JB. And just asking about the holidays, and I'm listening to the two clerks. They were talking back and forth about not liking music today. I said, well, let's listen to Christmas music. And they're like, Christmas music. So I instantly was already on the defensive before they even finished. He said, Christmas music is for the day before and the day after. It should stop. I said, who hurt you? I said, but that's a real question because people's experience with holidays and things in life are only a sum total of their experiences in life. So if you don't like Christmas, you've had some pretty jacked up Christmas. Maybe your family, maybe you, maybe your kids, whatever. So be nice to people, man. Give them a moment. Say Merry Christmas. I said Happy Holidays. I hope you enjoy it. And I can see that they had maybe we should listen to a little bit more Christmas music. Be nice to people, man. It's a holiday, man. Get everybody in the spirit. Put a little smile on their face.
And let's be honest, even if you don't like the holiday season, you got to like what's happening now, Tom Mazawey. I mean, the Lions.
Look at the setup.
Merry Christmas. Happy holidays to everybody. Let's welcome in on a great Detroit Tuesday here to be a Lions fan, to be a fan of sport in general, especially the NFL. And I love Christmas holidays. Too bad we're stuck with the Broncos on Christmas. That's the only thing I'm down about.
Right.
That's it.
You know what's funny about, and we're going to get into.
I forgot about that game.
One of the great things about coming to work today, amongst many great things about coming to work today, because I try not to take this stuff for granted. This stuff can go away at any point. So I just wanted to make that. Yeah, exactly. But I was excited to come to work today because Todd McShay put out his first mock draft.
Uh-oh.
And the reason why I was excited about Todd McShay's first mock draft, because for the first time in many, many years, I don't care about it. I don't care about it. We would come into this studio last year or in years past, just being a sports fan, being a Lions fan.
All we had.
And you print out this, I print out everything, especially for you Spartan fans out there. I print out everything.
They don't have a lot of those right now.
But you print it out and you study it. And you go through all of it. And you know what? We don't have to do it anymore. No. We're going to do it because it's fun. It's fun conversation to have, and you can look ahead and project. But for the first time in a long time, we care about the season that the Lions are currently playing in. We care about the game that's going to happen this Sunday, not in September. And I'm excited about that.
I agree.
That excited me today.
I agree 100%. Usually around this time, that's all you really have to look forward to. This becomes the Lions' favorite time of year because now you're trying to analyze, okay, is it going to be Aiden Hutchinson? Is it Trayvon Walker? Is it Malik Willis? Is it going to be – and the list goes on. Another reason why Ermanni that it's not that big of a deal, and it's still related to the Detroit Lions, how they're playing this year. It's because who are you looking for every year in line? You're looking for a new quarterback. Mm-hmm. Like last 5 drafts, you've been looking for that next quarterback. Who's coming in to fill in for Matt Stafford? Who is Matt Stafford going to groom? Here's Jared Goff. He's a stop filler. He's a gap filler. Who are we going to draft this year? Is it Malik Willis? Can we take a flyer?
Take him at 2, baby. Take Malik at 2.
Can we take a flyer on Kenny Pickett?
Yeah.
You know, what's this going on? Like, that's what you're doing. With Jared Goff, the way he's playing right now, I think a lot of people are now coming to terms with something that you said. Stick has been screaming and yelling this. I have to say I'm sorry to Stick to a certain extent. Jared Goff looks like he could be the quarterback for the Detroit Lions in the future. Most quarterbacks are systematic. There are only a couple quarterbacks that are not systematic. Those quarterbacks are Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen. Those aren't systematic quarterbacks. They are the system. Everybody else, no matter how good they are. Jalen Hurts is still a systematic quarterback. Then it's the way they run a hell of a system with him. With the Eagles, Jared Goff is balling right now, and you're not thinking about, oh, do we need Bryce Young? Oh, do we need Will Levis? Oh, Hendon Hooker's injured. Do we take a chance on him in the second round? You're cool with drafting Anthony Richardson in the third round and keeping him moving. Jared Goff and the Detroit Lions are bringing some holiday cheer.
Hey, next Monday, we talk about last night's game, but next Monday you got the Rams and the Packers. Mm-hmm. All right, so I know Detroit's going to be watching that game. Even though it's a crappy kind of game, it's not what it was supposed to be. Who are you rooting for in that game? You're probably rooting for the Packers.
Rooting for the Packers, of course you are.
We'll see.
Of course
last night, Kyler Murray, he's done for the year now. Torn ACL, probably a torn ACL. But do you know the Arizona Cardinals? You want to know what a bad team is? We got nothing to complain about. They've lost 11 of their last 12 home games. How about that?
Yeah, but they've made it to the Super Bowl.
I know they have. But you know what? They're definitely going to have a new coach next year. Not a question about it. Cliff Kingsbury is going to be exiting stage left, stage right maybe.
The interesting thing about that, Maz, is although you're not wrong at all in saying that he's definitely coached himself into a potential axing at the coaching position, but just look at their team. Like, if you look at what he's done in his 4 years there, this is his 4th year there, or 3rd year there. He came in the same year as Kyler Murray. They've gotten better from year 1 to year 2. They got better from year 2 to year 3. And even year 3 last year, they still were 11-1 at one point in that year. And then you look at how many injuries you had. You look at DeAndre Hopkins was injured. J.J. Watt was injured. James Conner, he played 5 games of last year. Wide receivers were hurt. Yep. So it was so many on the defensive side of the ball. Their best player, Budda Baker, was hurt for 2 or 3 of those games. So you just look at injuries, which are a part of the game. You have him under contract to 2027. You got the GM under contract to 2027. You got Kyler Murray under contract to 2028. You can't just remove like Cliff Kingsbury, and what do you do? So I think this is going to be an example, like a situation where him being hurt, Kyler Murray, means he's going to have to be around the facility all offseason, Ryan. He's not going to be able just to go travel to Paris or go to hang out in Texas where he's from, his neighborhood.
Or play PlayStation.
Exactly, and play PlayStation. I've been through that process, that ACL process in the offseason. I got hurt in December 2005. My black butt was in Cleveland all off season. Maybe that's why I hate Cleveland so much. But you're at the facility, you're watching film, you're breaking it down, you're doing multiple rounds of rehab, you're studying. And if you're a quarterback, Ryan Ermanni, what's your job to do anyway? Study. Who you think's going to be there in there with him studying? It's Cliff Kingsbury. I would give them one more chance. I will give them one more year to try to get things right, considering he's injured this year.
Just one of the many topics we'll be discussing later today. We'll do so with Dan Miller as well, top of hour number 2, Lions play-by-play voice on the radio, and, of course, the sports director at Fox 2 Detroit. Tim McCormick will join us, Bally Sports Detroit, 10-year NBA vet. He'll join us coming up in about 20 minutes from now. We're going to talk about Cade Cunningham. He is going to have surgery on that left shin. He will be out for the year. So many different ways to go. But your first initial impression, Maz, of Cade Cunningham out for the year?
I'm scared for him. I don't like anything with those skinny legs. I just always think of Kmart. I think of Kenyon Martin and those spindly legs of his. And how many injuries did he have to those legs? I'm just hoping Cade isn't like that. I know Cade's a little thicker than what Kenyon Martin was, but I always think when I hear shin or any leg injury, and Bray, you can tell me about this. Yeah. I hope the kids are going to be okay going forward. That's a hard game on your shins.
What's crazy is I wish I would have known this sooner. Guess who and you know the story already. Guess who I saw on Saturday night when I was going from here? Glenda Lewis, Channel 7. How you doing, Glenda? Always been a long time.
What's up, Glenda?
Boy, is she a beautiful woman.
Oh, man, beautiful. Great person in and out. Have ran into them. I think Channel 7 had their charity or their Christmas party over at the Daxton. So I walked over to say hi to her and Kellen Clifford. And guess who was standing outside just chilling, just as cool as he could be? Cade. It was Cade.
How about
Cade
that,
Cunningham. Super nice guy. Talked about the love, the support that we have for WoodwardSports.com before him. Talked about the heavyweights and Kool-Aid and Jeff Iafredi and how much they, speak to the positivity that he is the guy for the team. He looked okay. He looked like he could be. If he wanted to play this year, they could play this year. It didn't have to necessarily be a surgery type deal or a surgical type deal. So I don't think it's going to be that big a deal at all.
What kind of surgery is on a shin?
Maybe a screw here. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
So I don't want to dive into something I don't know about. But I can't imagine it to be a much. This is one of those ones where you're like, do we sit out for a month and then come back? Because
that's what he's trying to do, right?
Exactly. But at the same time, you're looking at it. We're not good. We're not going to the playoffs this year. And oh, by the way, this isn't an organic way to do what? To take a run at you-know-who.
Yeah. Victor Wembanyama. Victor Wembanyama. Say it again.
Victor
Wembanyama.
So this is an organic, natural, chill, and smart way to potentially set yourself up for that. And also, you get to learn about Jaden Ivey. Like Jaden Ivey figured it out on his own as well. So I think it can be good for the Lions for the 2023 season. I think he'll be okay.
Yeah, and they say he's supposed to come back full strength well before training camp. So we'll see what happens there. Wanted to point this out too. Mike Leach, one of the great college football coaches of our generation, really. 61 years old, passed away. An unexpected heart attack.
He had a massive heart attack.
He had a massive heart attack from a condition that he did not
know he had.
Mississippi State football coach Mike Leach died on Monday night from complications related to a heart condition. The school announced he was 61 years old. This has really shaken, I think, the college football world because of how great of a guy, universally liked, Mike Leach has seemed to be. I mean, whether it was Texas Tech, Mississippi State, Washington State, wherever he's gone, he's made an impact. And this was sad news.
Yeah, usually nowadays with coaches, especially coaches that have that cachet, that have that that national name, that big name, that's when you think about them or when you're hearing about them, it's not necessarily always the best things, or sometimes they care more about themselves. Sometimes it's their ego. Very rarely do you see coaches now that are everywhere they go. His records and wins and losses or national championships, that's not going to define who Mike Leach is. When you look at him, look at all the players that have talked nothing good things about him, the type of leader that he was, the mentor, type of father figure that he was. Look at the things when you see Mike Leach on TV. He's always cracking a joke. Yep. He's always having fun. He doesn't take life too serious.
Could have been a lawyer.
Exactly, but he's very defensive of his programs. Yep. He's very defensive of his players. He's very defensive of humanity, if you will. He's one of the last great men in terms of, you see humanity through him, how he talks to the media, how he talks about his players, how he talks about his school. So when you see somebody like that pass unexpectedly, especially the way they pass, you're like, damn. He's a good man. I know this even though I don't know him. Right. I know he's a good man, and I'm sorry for him and his family's loss.
If you guys ever get a chance to go online and check out his about a minute and 10 seconds it was with the ABC or ESPN sideline reporter, it was around Halloween time, and then they were talking about how much he hates candy corn. And his favorite candy is this. And Braylon brought these in for us today.
Unbelievable.
He called them Haribo Gold Gummy Bears. That's for you, Mike Leach. We love you, man. We're going to miss you.
Absolutely. Rest in peace, Coach, and condolences to your family. Guys, we're going to take a break. When we come back, Dan Campbell was on the Pat McAfee show today. Incredible sound bites that we got. We're going to have some of those for you. We'll do it next. Tim McCormick at 2:30. That's at about 15 minutes from now if you're not watching live. And Dan Miller, top of the hour, which is about 45 minutes from now. So, guys, big show for you today. We hope you stick around. Tell a friend about Woodward Sports Network. We're going to take a break. But first, a message from SMA.
Hey, guys, are you out there dealing with something that you don't understand? Well, guess what? Sean Jordan and SMA, they feel like they can help you understand why it's okay to not be okay. Substance abuse disorder is a real thing, and so is mental health. But you got to have the answers. You got to have the knowledge. You got to know what you're dealing with so that you can deal with it. Go to thesportsma.com right now. They can help you very discreet, give you information that maybe you and maybe somebody you know, but you can make a difference. Thesportsma.com.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Beverly Hills Golf, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
By now you know me, Christina Gennari, as the obvious choice in real estate. And you know my website, soldchristina.com, as your #1 resource for buying or selling your home. Myself, along with my amazing staff, pride ourselves on making your home buying and selling experience a relaxing and easy one. Come see why we are the obvious choice. Christina Gennari at soldchristina.com, the obvious choice in real estate.
When it comes to making your haircut truly an experience, there's no better place than Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Come to any one of our 26 Metro Detroit locations for an award-winning haircut experience and qualify for a chance to win a down payment for your dream home up to $200,000. Our precision haircut and talented stylists will have you looking good, feeling good, and give you a chance to change your life forever. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit.
Hey, it's Maz for Cousins Maine Lobster. And if you have not had Cousins Maine Lobster, drop by your business. You got to get online right now at cousinsmainelobster.com. Check out that truck schedule and get them over to your place. Woodward Sports, of course, brought to you today by Cousins Maine Lobster in Detroit. Check out their food trucks running around the city, offering the tastiest lobster rolls, lobster tacos, and more. Go to cousinsmainelobster.com and search locations for those Detroit schedules and get that Lobster Maine truck over to your place.
Hey guys, welcome back. WoodwardSports.com. We certainly appreciate you tuning in. However you're consuming Woodward Sports, we appreciate it. Ryan Ermanni, Braylon Edwards, and Tom Mazawey, Fletcher Flannel with us as well. Guys, the Lions are the toast of the town, locally, of course, here, but also nationally, Braylon. They're getting a lot of love. And one of the guys that's giving them a lot of love is Pat McAfee. And his show is just tremendous as well. But earlier today, less than an hour ago, Dan Campbell was on with Pat McAfee. Here's what Campbell told McAfee about that fake punt.
On special teams, we're running fake punts on our own 27, on 4th and 7, up 7, and executing it and pulling it off. Like, every coach wants that to happen. Do you think because you guys are all former players, it gives you a little bit more leeway with the current players? And have you seen a benefit to a player-led coaching staff that you have? Not everybody, but a lot of players coaching on your staff.
Well, first of all, here's what happened on that. My button, I didn't get it down fast enough, and I was saying don't run it, and Phip heard me say run it, and then before I knew it, it just hit. So
yes.
it worked out great.
A service issue. That's like that commercial.
Yeah, that's right.
The funny thing about that, and I want to make sure we courtesy again the Pat McAfee show for that audio and video. The funny thing about it, we're all laughing about that
because they won.
Because they won and because it worked. Could you imagine if being up by 7 points at your own 27 and that didn't work and they lost the game perhaps because of it?
Can you imagine?
Boy, oh boy.
Can you imagine it being Dan Campbell?
What a fine line, Bray. What a fine line.
But the thing is, can you imagine if that happened to Dan Campbell, which we're talking about? If that happens to somebody else, it's like, whatever. But Dan Campbell, Detroit's already like, he makes bad in-game decisions. He makes mistakes to stand in third. I've said that numerous times. If that happens, you're looking at it very different if somebody else does it. Like, let's say whoever, even a team with a losing record, let's say Sean McDermott, they're winning. If they did it, no big deal. Let's say even Matt LaFleur's were to do it. It'd be like, mistakes. They happen. If Dan Campbell would have done that, they'd be like, this guy effing right here, he doesn't get it, yada, yada, yada. This goes back to what we were talking about yesterday, Ryan. I was telling you, watching this Detroit Lions, everything that used to go the opposite way for the Detroit Lions is starting to go this way for the Detroit Lions. Mistakes are happening.
It's
for
bizarro
them. Little things like when you see, oh shoot, once again it's they offsides on 4th and 5. Now it's 4th and 1. Now they're going to allow them to get it. No, they stopped them. Little snafus are going the way of the Lions. That's when you start to realize this could be real.
You know, later on in that interview, he went on to say, they talked about, wow, you threw the ball to your right tackle. You threw the ball to Penei Sewell on for a first down. Do you want to know what he said there? He went on to say, I was so taken aback by Ford Field doing the wave that I didn't even realize we were going to throw it to Penei at that time. That's what he told Pat McAfee. That he didn't realize that they actually were going to throw it to Penei.
So Noah, our friend in the back, and one other person says Pat said he was joking after MCDC signed off a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a pretty elaborate joke.
It is.
You know, to say that, FIP and,
Let me tell you something.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Maybe,
I don't think it was a joke.
I don't either for
but
whatever
you know what?
reason.
Dan Campbell has every coach thinking, what the hell is this guy going to do now? And that's good. All the snafus in the last year and a half are now starting to benefit the Lions because he's not really going on 4th down all the time like he was. He's kicking the field goal. He's taking the points. He's punting when he has to. But they don't know what the heck this guy's going to do,
right.
And that's good.
Well, it's good, and we don't know what he's going to do either, Bray. And I want to play this for you as well. It's the last one from the Pat McAfee show, talking about are you royalty now in Detroit?
Lucky to be around him. He's the reason why we got interested in the Lions like 5 years ago. So we've been paying attention to this team for some time because of Foxy's fanhood. What have the fans been like? I remember, open training camp practice, where it's like, we're going to have a bonfire here, man, and you guys just need to be the gasoline. Kindling. Yeah, we'll be the kindling. You guys be the gasoline on the fire. How has the relationship been with Lions fans? I assume you're fucking royalty in Detroit right now. And do you even know that? Or are you just locked in the building at all times?
No, look, I'm out enough to know, I guess, when things aren't good and nobody says anything to you, then it's bad. And then when things are good and people are saying stuff to you, then that means it's probably pretty good. But listen, honestly, through the thick and thin of it, the fans have been outstanding to me and my family, and they've been very supportive. And, now I'll get the occasional letter that says, hey, coach, next time it's 4th and 6, once you punt, and then it's like, Dave, and that's it.
Dave.
But
a big fan.
I got well, not even that. It just says Dave. But anyway, listen, the support's been unbelievable. This place is humming right now. They want to believe, and we said it all along. We're going to give them something to believe in, man. But we wanted to have real substance to it. And Brad and I really felt like the way we were building this was the right way. And we needed youth, but you needed the same guys. You needed the right type of veterans who had been here and had been through some of the rough times to really you needed them here because they could really appreciate it and understand what it's going to take to get through it. And we've kind of done that. We balanced it. And look, we're on a bit of a run here, but there again, we're not finished.
And once again, we want to credit Pat McAfee show with that sound and audio bite with Dan Campbell saying we're not finished. We're not done. And that's a great message. Like, that's what I was waiting for as he was going on that statement or that 2-minute run just now is you got to remember who the Lions fans in general. You can never get too high with fans. Mm-hmm. You can never get too low with fans. Like, because when you guys were 1-6, first 7 games of the season, you guys remember,
done.
Everybody fire him, fire Jared Goff, get rid of him. Brad Holmes, he's not what we thought as well. Penei Sewell, DeAndre Swift can't stay healthy. But now all of a sudden they're 5 out of 6 games, and they could have easily won that Buffalo Bills game as well if they would have played a little defense on that last drive for the Buffalo Bills. They're right there, and now everybody's excited. Now downtown is jumping. Now it's, man, they can go to the Jets and they can go to the Jets, beat the Jets. They can beat the rest of the teams. Now everybody's excited, but you can't change, because if you were down in the dumps, then now you can't be too high, because your body needs to stay on point. Your mind needs to stay sharp, and I think that's what they're doing. Like, they're eliminating the self-inflicted negatives. They're playing the ball. They're making their field goals. They're completing on third down. Jared Goff isn't turning the ball over. The defense is bending but not breaking. Like, that's a major thing. That it's okay sometimes if you gave up 425 of empty calorie yards.
Dude, I'm telling you.
Of empty calorie yards. Who cares if Kirk Cousins throws for 800 yards? If they don't get in the end zone, the Lions keep them out of the end zone. As you get further down the field, just like the song goes, forward down the field, as you start to get across the 50 and across the 40 and into the fringe at the 27 and then eventually in the red zone, the field, man, you know what it does? It shrinks and shrinks and shrinks. And those plays become a lot harder when you deal with the red zone. So that's what they're doing now. They're playing great fringe defense, great red zone defense, and that can win you games and championships.
Braylon, if I told you that Kirk Cousins was going to throw for 425 yards and Justin Jefferson would catch the ball 11 times for a career-high 223, you had told me that the Minnesota Vikings blew them out.
Yeah.
And it was a laugher at Ford Field. And how they allowed those empty yards, and they were empty calories. They were empty calorie yards for Minnesota to score 23 points, 10 of which coming in the fourth quarter. I mean, it was over.
It was never in doubt.
It was the game was never in doubt, and I think you got to give a lot of credit to this coaching staff and Dan Campbell. Obviously, he's reaping the benefits of it, and everybody in the chat, starting to go at each other. Was it a joke? Was it not a joke? Who cares if it was a joke?
Who cares?
Fun.
It probably was a joke.
Probably was a joke. Who cares?
Who cares was a joke? You know what wasn't a joke is when he talked about looking at the wave of the Detroit Lions. And I understand what he meant. Look, I've never been a coach, but I've been on a team that was sorry as hell, and then that same team be good at some point. When I played with the Cleveland Browns, we were horrible, abysmal my first 2 years. But then that third year, when we were winning, hell, we were 7-1 at home, man. Imagine being 7-1 at home in the NFL and not getting the playoffs.
Wow.
We were 7-1. We had Pro Bowl players. We had made the Pro Bowl.
What were you, 2-5 or 2-6 on the road?
We were 10-7. Yeah.
Wow, damn.
I mean, Steelers in Baltimore. Well, actually, we beat Baltimore both times that year. But, yeah, we lost to Cincinnati. We lost to the Raiders. They were still in Oakland.
You were 2-6 on the road.
2-6.
Yeah, lost to Steelers.
Wow.
But when I'm coming back to say, I remember watching it change. Because when I first got to Cleveland, man, literally by halftime, you start to see people leaving. You start to see people yelling at you. Whoever's the starting quarterback, they're booing him to get the next guy in. I remember one game, they booed Trent Dilfer to get him out of the game and cheered for Charlie Fry. Charlie Fry got in there. He got loss of 10, first play. Boo, get his ass out of there. I've seen all that. To see all that, but then that 2007 year, where everybody was going to the Pro Bowl, was magical, it was 10 games.
Derek Anderson.
You see the wave, you see the crowd, you see the intensity, you see him into it. Like, you're like you get lost. You have this moment. Now, I wasn't the head coach, so I could afford to get lost in the moment, but I'm glad he had that moment where he got lost in the moment. He sees what's on the precipice and what's on the horizon, because now that's going to keep him up at night focused and dedicated to continuing getting better like they're doing week in and week out. It's a great thing to see for the very first time.
Hey, just a side note on the Arizona Cardinals. Remember when they came into Ford Field last year? They were, ready to go for the playoffs. And the Lions punched them in the mouth, beat the daylights out of them, and then they never recovered. They were horrible in the playoff. There was a no-show in the playoff. And this year, they're horrible again. And now Kyler Murray's out for the year. I'm going to give the Lions a little credit on sending the Cardinals down the hole.
I see. I was like, where are you going with that at first? But now I understand. And I'll tell you this much. As far as this Lions team, I mean, they're taking a bulldozer through the door of a playoff berth, man. I am so excited for this game.
This week.
I am so. Every game is a playoff game.
This one, both teams need to win.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've only been on one Jets game since I left, and that was actually this year. I went to a Jets game this year. I'm excited because you're looking at the New York Jets and Robert Saleh. Remember what he said early in the year? Yo, I'm taking receipts.
Yep.
I'm taking receipts on it's like Denzel Washington training camp. I'm putting cases on all you know what. And now the Detroit Lions are doing the same thing. Now they're fighting for the playoffs. They have a very real shot at winning their division.
We could be 500 after this week.
Absolutely.
And now the Lions could be at 500. They
when was
can
the
get
last
in the playoffs.
time that happened?
Unbelievable.
Just to let you guys know, we got a message from our very own Madeline Miller. letting us know that, yes, that was a joke that Dan Campbell was saying about the call.
Well, very good then. Very good.
From the Lions herself. She got it from them. So just to let you guys know, it was a joke.
Feels like the White House got to...
Dan Campbell was like,
the White House got to NBC News. You must take this. Right?
That's real.
I think the Lions got to Dan Campbell. You must say this is a joke.
Yeah.
No, either way, it's fine. It doesn't matter. I mean, it's a funny joke. And when you win, you can have jokes.
When you win, it doesn't matter.
When you win, you can
I just want to bring something up
stuff.
about the button pushing and the hearing. Remember, he brought that up against the Dallas game.
Yeah.
Remember, he said he couldn't hear from upstairs if he should challenge that call at the 1 yard line. Remember? And then they rushed and Jamal Williams fumbled.
Yeah.
So maybe it's not a joke. Maybe they need new headphones.
Maybe there's a little truth in everything.
There is.
You know, so there you go, guys. Coming up next, we're going to be talking to Tim McCormick, 10-year NBA vet, Bally Sports Detroit. We'll get the latest on Cade Cunningham out for the season. We'll talk about it, but first a message from the Foaling Warehouse.
Yes, sir. In Hamtramck, Michigan. Get on down there. If you've never played foaling before, it's throwing a football at bowling pins. It is a great time for you or for all your friends. 2 ways to play it: $12 unlimited open play or a private lane reservation. You get it for 2 hours and it runs you $120, but you get it. You can have 10 or 12 people on a lane. About the bar, they have over 100 beers on the menu and the $2 mystery beer machine, multiple full bars for any drink that you want as well. Bring your own food in or even have it delivered. It's your choice. Get your foal on. Check them out at foldingwarehouse.com.
It's back. Year 3 of Woodward Sports Stuff a Studio is here. The past 2 years, we've collected new unwrapped toys and stuffed our studio so we could hardly fit in it. This year, we're doing it even bigger. Join Woodward Sports and our whole family December 19th to the 23rd as we stuff our studio. While you're out shopping or just sitting on your couch ordering presents, make sure you grab one extra and drop it off at our studio, 15 Mile in Woodward in Birmingham. We'll be collecting toys around the clock to make sure every child in Mott's Children's Hospital feels the warmth of the holiday season. It's the time of year to do for others. Help us stuff our studio. Special thanks to all the wonderful elves at Meyer and Guardian Alarm for keeping the toys safe. Stuff a Studio 2022 with Woodward Sports.
It's a great day to get some Centron in your life. Okay. There it is. Centron, here we go. Gotta grab the cranberry. Oh wait, it's 2 for $4. Gotta double up with the classic as well. Centron World, baby. Centron, available at select Krogers, and if you wanna know how, go to @CentronWorld.com. You get dope like me. You know what? Why wait? Great taste, guaranteed.
As chilly weather approaches, Big Boy's got the perfect comfort meals for you. Try our hearty classic meatloaf or our creamy Cajun chicken Alfredo. These will be sure to leave you craving for more. How about breakfast? Our stuffed potato pancakes are back with our lumberjack, blockbuster, and Santa Fe Garden. These potato pancakes will definitely fill you up. Whether it's for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, come stock up on the perfect comfort meal today. We'll see you soon at Big Boy.
We are the network for Detroit by Detroiters. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network.
Hey guys, it's coming up next week. It's year 3 of Woodward Sports Stuff a Studio. I'm sorry, let's go to Planet Fitness first.
I'm sorry.
Stuff a Studio after Planet Fitness.
We'll do that one after, man. But Planet Fitness is the official studio sponsor of Woodward Sports. This is also home to the Judgment-Free Zone.
No
where you can work
judgments.
out in a judgment-free, non-intimidating atmosphere for just $10 a month.
Only $10?
Yes, $10 a month. Or you can always do yourself a favor, upgrade to the Black Card for unlimited guest privileges, that hydro massage, and so much more. Join in club today, or you can always check them out at planetfitness.com.
And when you're done with Planet Fitness, come to our Planet Fitness studios, and it's time for Stuff a Studio. We're collecting new unwrapped toys and stuff in our studio so we can hardly fit us in it. Join Woodward Sports and our whole family next week, December 19th to the 23rd. That's Festivus for you Seinfeld fans, as we stuff our studio. While you're out shopping, make sure you grab one extra gift. Drop it off at our studio at 15 Mile and Woodward. We're in the Lady Jane's headquarters here at Birmingham. Get yourself a haircut and a massage while you're at it. Scalp massage, that is. We will be collecting toys around the clock to make sure every child at Mott's Children's Hospital feels the warmth of this holiday season. Help us stuff our studio. Thank you to all the wonderful elves at Meyer and, of course, Guardian Alarm for keeping their eyes on those toys.
Absolutely. Great stuff. Hey, welcome back, WoodwardSports.com. If you're watching live on Fox2Detroit.com or the Fox 2 News app, we certainly appreciate that. Pleasure to be joined now. Let's bring him in. Tim McCormick, Michigan alum, 10-year NBA vet. You see him on Bally Sports during the Pistons games. The great Tim McCormick, everybody. How you doing, Tim? Happy holidays to you. Merry Christmas.
Same to you guys. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks, Tim. What's up, buddy? Tim, you're one of the first guys we thought of today because, look, Cade Cunningham looks like he's going to be out for the year with a left shin injury. He's going to have surgery. Before we look at the team, let's look at the individual. What is this injury? And they say he can come back better than ever, but what do you make of all this?
Well, I feel like I have so misdiagnosed this whole scenario. Last year, there was a lot of evaluation. Like, Jeremy Grant's out for a month. Is he really hurt? Because, we see him working out before games, and he looks great. He says he feels good. And so I didn't really know what to expect with Cade's injury. Remember the day that it was announced that he had a sore shin and he would not be playing, I sat there for about a half hour and watched him work out, and he looked great. Like, he was cutting, he was dunking, he was making threes, and so I just kind of assumed it was something that maybe it was load management, maybe it was the start of tanking. I didn't know, and so as time went on, it sounds like this is something a little bit worse. If he needs surgery, then it kind of makes sense that he has a legit injury, and I get concerned about anything lower body.
Mm-hmm.
Everything that you do on a basketball court is with your feet and your shins and your leg, cutting, jumping, stopping. And so I worry long term. Is this something that can be corrected? I don't think there's a huge history of this happening to NBA players. I mean, I think back to Sam Bowie from my draft class, and he broke his shin and he was never the same. Right. I don't think this is anywhere like that. And I'm sure, I think Jrue Holiday had something similar. I think Rodney Magruder did, and they seem fine. And I'm hopeful and optimistic that this is something that will accomplish a couple of goals. It will get him healthy so he can get on an upward trajectory of his career. And number two, it's definitely going to help them get the lottery pick that they're hoping for.
T-Mac, what's going on? Braylon here. Always appreciate having you on the show, my fellow alum and first-round draft pick, T-Mac.
Did you see the football team did pretty well this year? Did you know that?
I heard something about it. I think they won a couple games, maybe 13, something like that.
I think they're still playing.
13. I'm going to Phoenix for sure. And if they play Georgia, then I'm going to be here because we're going to have the biggest show we've ever done that Tuesday. If they play Ohio State, forgive me, WoodwardSports.com, ain't no way in hell I miss I'm sorry. I will be. Ain't no way in hell I miss Michigan, Ohio State at SoFi. That kills 3 birds with 1 stone, not 2. But, hell of a season. We can get into that. Sticking with the Pistons before I forget. When I was with the Jets, hurt my ankle, and I got a decision. They told me I could either wait 6 weeks and kind of let it naturally heal, or we could do an ankle surgery. And I said, I'm playing. Like, I'm not waiting. We'll figure this out, and I'll play. But that's because it was the start of the season. We were still figuring out if we were a playoff team. The way I look at it with Cade is more so, okay, we know we're not a playoff team. We're not going to be one of those teams to sneak into the play-in. Let's just be on the safer side and get this surgery. Because I saw him Saturday night walking out of Channel 7 Christmas party. I don't know if he was there for Channel 7 Christmas party, but I saw him. I want to ask a separate, and he looked fine. With him sitting out, what's going to be the good thing to come of it in terms of the rest of the team? What can we now assess about the rest of the team that we may not have been able to see while Cade was in the starting position?
Can Killian Hayes play? Can he be a point guard? Is he maybe a good backup, or can he be a starter? He certainly improved with more of a chance. I think that Saddiq Bey is an interesting guy. I can relate a little bit to Saddiq, and let me share an article that was written about me as a player that really kind of stuck with me and taught me a lesson. The writer, I was starting for the Philadelphia 76ers, and the writer said, if Tim McCormick is your starting center, your team's probably fairly sorry and you're not a playoff team. And that made me mad, made me angry. And but if you went further in the article, he said, if Tim McCormick is your backup center, if he's a 6-man, a bench spark, then you're a pretty good team. And I always remember that, and I think it's accurate. And I think the same thing about Saddiq. If Saddiq is your starting small forward, is your team a playoff team? I'm not sure. But if Saddiq is your bench spark, man, that's valuable. That's potent. And so we can find out a little bit more about some of these guys. Are they a starter on a playoff team? Because that's really what the goal is. And if the answer is no, then you've got to keep looking. My coach in New York was Pat Riley. And he said, if you want to win a championship, you need a lineup that has 3 guys that are top 5 at their position. And so I always use that as a gauge. He's not there yet, but I think that Cade Cunningham has the potential to be a top 5 guy at his spot. I think Jalen Duren has the potential to be top 5 at his spot. If you look at the rest of the team, there's a lot of guys that could be, good contributors on an average team. A lot of guys that could be good bench sparks, but they need somebody that's top 5 at their position. So I'm hopeful that he's in next year's draft, and then they could just keep adding those pieces.
Hey, Timmy Mack, thanks for joining us. I wanted to ask you about the guy everyone is tanking for, and that's Victor Wembanyama. Can you tell me a little bit about this guy? I mean, we've seen the highlights. They call him a unicorn. He's a big man that plays like a guard, like a forward even. Does he make your team instantly by being on it?
There's a lot of things that I don't know about him. One thing I do know is you just butchered his name as bad as I've ever heard it.
What did I say? Tell me about it.
No, you're close, but Wembanyama.
Wembanyama.
Yeah, it's not easy. So
okay. Well, thanks, Tim. I appreciate that.
Wembanyama.
So my experience, I just call him VM.
VM. I'll just call him Victor.
I wouldn't even be right. It would be VW. Right?
Yeah, correct.
I butchered it myself.
You did. You got your just desserts.
Yeah. So I've watched him 2 games in the G League, and I've watched 15 minutes of video. Like most videos, he didn't miss a shot the whole time, but why would you ever show yourself missing a shot? So he's got 3-point range. He can handle the ball. He's a great rim protector. Reminds me on defense a little bit like Chet Holmgren. And I think that when people say he's the best prospect since LeBron James, I went to LeBron James High School and I sat and watched a practice with him. And I'll never forget how great he was. And it hasn't really surprised me at all that he's become one of the all-time greats. I think from what I've seen from Victor, and I would like to see him in person, that he certainly has some things we just have never seen before from a 7'2" guy. But like Chet Holmgren, I worry about super tall guys and their ability to stay healthy and not have lower leg injuries. I think of Manute Bol, and I think about Sean Bradley and Sam Bowie, and there's just a whole list of really tall guys that don't transition that well. In some ways, 7'2", 7'3", 7'4" can be a disadvantage because your center of gravity is so darn high.
That is very true right there.
Hey, Tim, last one for you, and just your perspective on it. I don't think we expected the Pistons to be the worst team in the league right now, or at all. I don't think we. I don't think we expected the Pistons to be the worst team in the league, and they are the worst team in the league record-wise right now. How much blame does Dwayne Casey get? And I know that Cade's not there and he hasn't played and all that stuff, but how much blame should Dwayne Casey get for this?
So when I look at the roster and how young it is, I think there's 10 guys that are 24 and under. We could resurrect Red Auerbach, and his assistants could be Larry Brown and Greg Popovich, and they would have the same record. This team is too young. They don't know how to play, especially on the defensive end. But I have seen growth, and Dwayne Casey does not need the blame on this. Like I see the pain in his eyes. I can feel the hurt in his heart. This is really hard on him, and I think that this is not something you can lay on him.
Last question before we let you go, T-Man. We got to talk Michigan. You brought them early. What does Michigan do against TCU? Or you can answer it one way. Do they win it all?
So I've watched every minute of every game since I was 10 years old, and I'm so passionate and excited about this team, and I think that they've got enough playmakers that they can beat TCU. I think that they're so strong on the offensive and defensive lines that's where they win it. I was telling my son that I think Blake Corum is going to put on his Superman mask and somehow he's going to play. I don't know if that's realistic. I haven't heard anything inside on that. I'm certainly hopeful, and I think that Michigan has enough playmakers. I want to see Andrell Anthony. I think that I know there's a name, safe, but I think that they got to get him involved because that guy has so much potential, and if you don't, he's going to leave. And so I'm not as confident about Georgia, but I'm making every effort to get out there. So Braylon, it sounds like if it's Ohio State, we'll be hanging out. If it's Georgia, we won't.
Yeah, no, if it's Ohio State, we'll definitely be hanging out at SoFi Stadium, a little bit around L.A. But if it's Georgia, I'll be right here in the studio.
Tim McCormick, watch out for this guy around the club, man. If it's
no,
Ohio State.
No. I'm not at the club anymore. I'm at restaurants. I'm at day parties. I'm at restaurants.
He's at restaurants.
I've grown as a man.
I've seen him.
Hey, Tim, thanks so much for the time, buddy. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Appreciate you, Tim.
Go Blue. Hey, you can follow Tim on Twitter at Tim McCormick 40. Of course, watch him Bally Sports during the Pistons game. So a lot there, and we'll see. Just very unfortunate for Cade.
Yeah.
And again, one thing that Tim said: anytime you have something below the waist, man, in basketball, it's tricky. There's no guarantees. It is tricky.
Injuries are tricky. I mean, we can name injuries are tricky in every sport, but especially basketball because the players are so tall. And anything below the waist, I mean, you look at players like Penny Hardaway. Penny Hardaway after the microfracture was never the same. You look at Amari Stoudemire. Amari Stoudemire, when he was Phoenix, he was a different animal. Got the microfracture, was never the same, even in New York. So you're always worried, but at the same time, medicine is very good. And if it's injuries that you've seen before, no, guys will be okay.
All right, Bray. I'm going to take a break. When we come back, we have Dan Miller, top of the hour. In the meantime, I do want to talk to you about the Shannon Sharpe Skip Bayless. Did you see that yesterday? Mm-hmm. Pretty explosive stuff.
Shannon took his glasses off.
Yeah, pretty explosive stuff. We're going to talk about it coming up. But first, a message from Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac. All month long at Les Stanford in Dearborn, you get a 2022 Silverado for just $285 a month with just $19.95 down. Also a Malibu for just $225 a month, $19.95 down. Bring in the new year with new wheels at LesStanford.com. LesStanford.com. Find
new road.
Find them.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Beverly Hills Golf, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
Jeff Okuda and Wicked Awesome Wishes present Hope for the Holidays. Jeff Okuda gives his financial support, time, and love for the city of Detroit with Chad Johnson and his amazing foundation, Wicked Awesome Wishes. Together, Jeff and Chad have been game planning all year long to make this Christmas one to remember for underprivileged children and their families. Special thanks to Lions players Amon-Ra St. Brown, Tracy Walker, Will Harris, and more, along with Lions alumni Lomas Brown and Joyak Bell, and the awesome people at Lighthouse Coolidge Community Building in Oak Park. Together, we'll make sure every child has new shoes, warm coats, hats, and socks, plus free haircuts to help everyone feel their best. And don't forget Woodward Sports' Braylon Edwards, Ryan Ermanni, and Darren McCarty will be there too. Hope for the holidays from Jeff Okuda and Wicked Awesome Wishes.
Hey, at Alta.
Uptime. It matters. Uptime. That's right. Uptime.
Uptime matters on Alta Equipment. They got everything you need to get the job done. If you have a big project coming up, Alta Rental has got you covered. Call them today at 844-GO-TO-ALTA. That's 844-GO, the number 2, Alta.
Hey, if you're watching live on WoodwardSports.com or Fox2Detroit.com, the Fox 2 News app, we certainly appreciate that. If you're watching anywhere else, whenever you want, however, we love that too. Ryan Ermanni, Braylon Edwards, and Tom Mazawey.
What if you're just listening on the app? You appreciate that too, don't you?
Absolutely.
All right.
Appreciate all of it.
All right.
Any way you are consuming Woodward Sports Network, we love you for doing it.
Because we got a free app, man.
We love you for doing it. We ain't going nowhere, folks. And I use ain't
for effect.
For effect. Braylon, lead this conversation here. Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharpe, they do the show on Fox Sports 1.
Going on 6 years.
They really got after each other yesterday, and we cannot play you the video. You'd have to seek it out on your own. But it was real. Yeah. It was a real argument played out online where they were disgusted with each other and really yelling at each other.
Well, one's a huge fan of Tom Brady, and Shannon Sharpe maybe not as big a fan as Skip Bayless is, and now Braylon can take it from there.
Yeah, I think the big thing, too, when you're dealing with debate shows, see, the thing about this is this isn't technically a debate show.
Yes, correct.
Like, I just love to debate, so that's why I typically get after it a lot.
You'd be good on that show.
No, I wouldn't, because I'll fight Skip Bayless. Yeah. I will fight Skip Bayless. But theirs is a debate format, much like when Steven was with First Take, and then Steven and Skip, now, whatever. You get the idea. With those, what happens in those type of shows, Ryan, I've been on First Take, I've been on Undisputed. You go, you have a 6:30 a.m. production meeting. There's our own Matty Miller talking about the Detroit Lions. You have a 6 a.m., 6:30 production meeting. They list the topics on the chalkboard or on the erase board, and you figure out what you're going to talk about. You figure out what side Shannon's going to be on. You figure out what side Skip Bayless is going to be on, and they argue from a debate format. But at the same time, Ryan and Maz, they already know what side they're going to be on. For lack of a better word, it's semi-scripted. And they only talk about the same three things, the same three people every freaking day. They talk about LeBron and Westbrook, they talk about Aaron and Tom Brady, and they talk about the Dallas Cowboys and Dak. That's all they talk about. When you're scripting conversations, you never get that heated because it's scripted. Or because what side you're going to stand on is scripted, and you go back and forth. But it's not really angry back and forth. There's no one taking shots. It's not really, I'm really mad at you.
It's sports takes.
Mad. It's sports takes. You can tell that this has been building up in Shannon and Skip. And you could tell that yesterday when they was giving the takes, Skip said something along the lines of hurting his feelings. Or said something that went a little deeper. He's always digging. He basically told, because he gets so defended, much like Skip Bayless is the father of Tom Brady, much like Tom Mazawey is the father of Baker Mayfield. That was a joke. That was a little joke in there.
That's okay.
But then you take digs, and I think Skip Bayless didn't see it as a dig when he was on air, and I think he saw off the air how he said he's better than you. You were nowhere near as good as him. You stopped playing at 35. He's allowed to still play at 45. That wasn't scripted. That wasn't what they talked about in the meeting. That wasn't, hey, are you okay? And that's what they'll do a lot of times. And behind closed doors, they'll say, hey, okay, if you're going to be on that side, Maz, I'm going to come at you with this. Is that okay?
Correct.
When you do that, at least you as an analyst, you now know, that's why I don't like those type of shows from me working on
I think that makes for a bad show, to be honest with you.
It does, but they've been doing it for 6 years. Skip's been doing it for 20. So.
But I think one of the things that I'm saying is if you script out everything that you're going to talk about,
it don't seem real.
I think it makes for a bad show. I think it makes for bad television. I think those moments of authenticity, of just generic conversation, I think that's what makes the show.
And part of it is script and part of it isn't. It's like professional wrestling to a certain extent.
But look at this. I mean,
exactly. It's like, hey, if we're talking about Cade Cunningham, I'll give you an example. If Maz and I are talking about Jamison Williams, and he said, hey, Braylon, he's not going to be the same player after the injury. And I'm like, no, I'm going to be on the side that he is. And then Maz says something like, hey, is it cool if I talk about how, you weren't the same player, or just for lack of better words, and I can say, yeah, that's fine. It works for the debate. But if I don't like it, I'm like, no, don't bring that shit up. You know what I'm saying? Excuse my French.
That's all right.
I think yesterday, they got after it. It was a long time coming. Skip took a dig. Shannon wasn't used to Skip taking these type of digs, not at him. See, what happens is Skip takes digs at about a lot of athletes, but it's other athletes.
Right.
And Shannon takes those same digs.
Don't challenge my manhood.
Exactly. On those other athletes. It's a show. We dig on everybody else, so we point out something. Yesterday, Skip did that to Shannon, and Shannon didn't like it. But at the same time, Shannon, you do that same thing to everybody else. So I think it was a level. I think it was a level. Both of them felt disrespected. I think Skip didn't have to dig him there, but Shannon, y'all got a scripted show and y'all do this all the time. Like, I don't think he had to get that angry.
He could have had a bad day too.
I think 100%. You're allowed to have those as a human. I think they off camera talked about it because they were cool today. I watched just to see how their dynamic would be, and I think Skip probably said, "Hey, I'm sorry that it made you feel like that." Because you just saw the whole deal that Skip posted like a month and a half ago. That video that he did talking about how much Shannon Sharpe meant to him, etc. Although he was taking shots at Stephen A. Smith also, but it was about Shannon. Shannon talks about how Skip got him to Fox. Like Skip said he wouldn't do the show with anybody else. Look how big Shannon has gotten. I think the last layer of that, Ryan and Mike, I'm sorry I talked so long on it. I think the last layer is I think there's a little jealousy with Skip now as Shannon though. When you look at Fox, like outside of Colin Cowherd, Shannon's the guy at Fox. Shannon's podcast is the guy over there at Fox. Like when you think Fox, you think him. Like you think of Shannon, I think there's a low level of jealousy because Skip brought him in.
Yeah. I mean, potentially. See, I was going to go the other way with it too when you talk about jealousy, because when you do those debate shows, you are. This is not a debate, Braylon and I, and Maz. This is
except on the commercial break.
Yeah, except during the commercial break, and Braylon will say, "I told you, I told you, I told you." Other than that,
I'm supposed to tell everybody.
But this is not a debate show. This is, we throw up a topic, we share our opinion.
Sports talk radio. We just happen to be on radio.
Yeah, exactly. We shake hands, we go home, we give each other a hug, we tell each other we love each other. We'll see you tomorrow. Those debate shows are very provocative. You are trying to provoke. And
a presidential debate.
It has worked out for Skip Bayless.
Yeah.
Skip Bayless makes $8 million a year.
Wow.
Yeah.
Skip Bayless has everybody hates Skip Bayless. Right?
That's a good gig.
Everybody hates Skip Bayless. Everybody got something to say about Skip Bayless. But Skip Bayless makes $8 million a year, and he makes that for a reason. Where the jealousy comes in, I think, too, is when you go at each other for so much, you are allowed to have a bad day. But when you do have that bad day, you have to know that the person on the other side is not going to, A, take it personally, B, understand what you're trying to do, because you are trying to provoke for ratings. This is the most we've been doing this show for a year and a half.
Yeah.
This is the most we've ever talked about Undisputed, Skip and Shannon.
Yeah.
So
it's true.
It has worked for them. And maybe Shannon is a little getting to the point where he's like, because Shannon makes $3 million a year.
Yeah, but he also makes on his Uncle Shay. He has everybody on that podcast. I'm talking, when you get guys like Magic Johnson on your podcast, and obviously that's through Fox.
Hey, you got Charles Woodson on yours.
This is very true.
Look at you.
This is very. I actually had to go get Charles Woodson.
Right,
like, Fox told Shannon, "Hey, we got you, Magic Johnson." But I'm saying, like, he's doing very well.
Yeah, everybody's doing well.
Everybody has a bad day. And I just don't think Shannon didn't have to react so hard, but at the same time, Skid didn't come after Shannon. Like, I would never tell you that. I don't even know any other.
You've never wanted to kill me?
I wanted to kill you, but I would never tell you that.
You know he wants to kill me.
I would never tell you that Bill Bonds is better than you. Or I would, you know what I'm saying? Like, or Hugh Perkins.
I would.
But I don't need to say that on a show with over 1 million people watching. Like, yo, Hugh Perkins is better than you.
Oh, man.
Like, I don't need to say
Godfather.
that. And Skip didn't need to say that. Everybody know that Tom Brady's the GOAT, better than Shannon Sharpe in terms of statistics. But to say that on air, that means he hurt you deeply.
That's right.
To me, they are both top 5 at their position.
Yeah, I agree. Question.
One guy is playing longer than the other.
Without question. Guys, we're going to take a break. When we come back, Dan Miller going to join us. But first, a message from Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Look at this beautiful hair that I have. Oh, my goodness. It's just... Oh, goodness.
That's why we argue, because your hair looks better.
Oh, my gosh. I got good hair. Let me tell you about Lady Jane's. And let me tell you about this event we're having on Tuesday night. If you know a child or a family in need, we want you to go to wickedawesomewishes.org. That's because Jeff Okuda and Wicked Awesome Wishes present Hope for the Holidays. Jeff Okuda and the Detroit Lions giving his financial support, time, and love for the city of Detroit by teaming up with Chad Johnson and his amazing foundation, Wicked Awesome Wishes. And you can come to Lady Jane's, get a haircut too if you want. Very good stuff here. If you know a child or family in need, wickedawesomewishes.org. You can donate at that website as well. We'll be right back. Top of the hour, number 2, coming right back.
It's back. Year 3 of Woodward Sports Stuff a Studio is here. The past 2 years, we've collected new unwrapped toys and stuffed our studio so we could hardly fit in it. This year, we're doing it even bigger. Join Woodward Sports and our whole family December 19th to the 23rd as we stuff our studio. While you're out shopping or just sitting on your couch ordering presents, make sure you grab one extra and drop it off at our studio, 15 Mile in Woodward in Birmingham. We'll be collecting toys around the clock to make sure every child in Mott's Children's Hospital feels the warmth of the holiday season. It's the time of year to do for others. Help us stuff our studio. Special thanks to all the wonderful elves at Meyer and Guardian Alarm for keeping the toys safe. Stuff a Studio 2022 with Woodward Sports.
Hi, I'm John from Better Rate Mortgage, and to me, family is more than blood. That's why I have the biggest family in Metro Detroit. If you're looking to buy a house or refinance and need a loan, come get treated better than family by me and our entire team here at Better Rate Mortgage. We pride ourselves on giving you better advice, better service, and a better loan experience. That's why we are Better Rate. If you're looking for a new mortgage, come get treated like family. Actually, better with Better Rate Mortgage. Visit us at mybetterrate.com or call at 248-480-4467 today.
Have an opinion? Make sure it's seen and heard. Corner, jumper. Tweet us, hop on the YouTube chat, slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media.
Hey, what's going on, everybody?
Hey, JB.
What's up,
JB here talking to you about the Monroe Street Midway. They have swapped out the roller skating, the basketball, the mini golf, all for the giant Arctic slide, those winter bumper cars, that indoor arcade, and check this out, puck putt. You gotta check this out. I'm telling you right now, you're gonna have a ton of fun. It's a free entry into the site. They have tons of activities that creates an amazing winter experience for anyone that goes down there. And check this out. I heard that Santa Claus will be down there. Yeah, Santa Claus will be down there, so you definitely have to check that out as well. But also coming soon, we got the Woodward Sports Winter Olympics. You'll be able to compete with everyone here at Woodward Sports, including Darren McCarty, Braylon Edwards, Ryan Ermanni, the Maz himself, Tom Mazawey, all at the Monroe Street Midway Games. So check them out at deckedoutdetroit.com for all your winter fun information. And from everyone here at Woodward Sports, happy holidays.
Yes, sir.
Happy holidays, and happy holidays to all the Lions fans out there, because it is fun to talk a little Lions football. We do so now with the play-by-play voice of the Detroit Lions on the radio, and of course, sports director, Fox 2 Detroit. Dan Miller joins us now. Hey, Dan, how are you, my friend?
Dapper Dan.
What is up, guys? How you doing?
Doing great. You know, Dan, we were talking at the top of the show here today that a mock draft came out today, and we have not even talked about it yet. We are talking Lions football in December, and we're talking about the games that are being played. How much fun are you having right now?
Oh, man, this is great. I mean, look, the difference between winning and losing when you do what I do is night and day. It's just you're energized. The people around you are energized. The fans are energized. It's a positive vibe all around the city. People feel good about it. So, you know, just contrast that to when they're losing and everybody's pissed off and everybody wants to tell you what's wrong with the team and everybody wants to tell you how to fix the team. And, you know, you're the voice of the team, so that's part of the gig. But it's just, believe me, winning is the absolute best. It covers everything. And it just... It's when you've won 5 out of 6 after starting 1-6, it's two different worlds.
And it feels like the way they're winning, Dan, too, the younger guys, how they're built, Jared Goff, young defense, young offensive skill players. Everything about this feels like it's being done the right way. That's exciting, too. It feels like it's not just a season where they're winning. This thing could be long-lasting.
You know what? I agree, and I'll take that a step further. The part I agree with is it feels like they're building a foundation. It feels like they're building something sustainable because they're doing this with a roster that only has one player over the age of 30 and a roster that is young players that are emerging that should be here for a while. There's a lot of them are still on, you know, rookie contracts and will be for a couple years. And I'll take it a step further by saying, you know, it always felt like in the past when the Lions were winning, it was like, man, they were holding the door shut while the other guy was just trying to barge in. And you were praying the clock would run out and they'd be able to win. And then you say, okay, wipe your brow, be done with it. Man, this team, if you go back over the last 3 games, what they did to the Giants, to the Jags, and what they did to the Vikings, and then coming close against the Bills, put the Bills one aside for a second and just remember they played toe-to-toe with them there. They're beating these teams. They're playing better than these teams. They're beating them in all 3 phases. And I think if you look at that, that's something we haven't seen from the Lions and a way of winning and making a statement at the same time that we haven't seen.
Yo, Dan Miller, you are absolutely correct. And watch these Detroit Lions. You can believe in what they are now, and the pundits and the analysts across the country, they believe in the Detroit Lions now because when you watch them, they're out-physicaling teams. They're winning at the point of attack. They're winning the second half, Dan Campbell. They're winning the second half. We've never seen that happen, and now they're winning 3 games in a row. It looks extremely well. What are you looking for with this Jets game? Because going to this Jets game, I'll be there. I'm excited. I believe the Lions are for real. If they win this Jets game, I think they win the rest of the game. What do you need to see happen in this Jets game to really, really, really buy in?
Well, look, you're on the road. You know that's a tough place to play up there. We don't know what the wind's going to be. I'm seeing 10 to 15, but that place can swirl, and it can make life difficult up there. They're expecting temperatures in the mid to high 30s. So, you know, it's a little bit different than playing inside of Ford Field, but they were just there. They played against the Giants. That wasn't exactly a beautiful day, and they found a way to get it done. So I think there's probably some confidence, familiarity, and comfort when they go ahead and do that. So, look, to me, Braylon, the recipe doesn't change. They haven't lost the turnover battle in 6 games. Keep doing that. Big swing momentum have been going their way in these games. If you think back to the Jacksonville game, they got the early fumble, short field touchdown. Then if you think into this past week, stop on 4th down, short field touchdown. You got to make sure those momentum swings go your way, in particular on the road, because you don't want to get that crowd into it or get the Jets fired up. You got to, and that's what they've been doing for 6 weeks now. It's become a familiar recipe. I think that's what they have to do. And to your original point about being more physical than teams, look, that's the plan. That's why you have 3 number 1 picks, a number 3 pick who's a Pro Bowler on that offensive line. That's why you have money that they've put into that defensive line, a 2nd-round pick in Pascal, 1st-round pick in Hutch. You know, they've put assets into that defensive line and offensive line because that's the way they feel like this team should be built. Now, look, Still need to see more out of that defense. Still need to see more pressure on the quarterback. Still need to see better play in the secondary. I think a healthy Okudah and a healthy Harris would certainly help that. But some of the things that they envisioned are now becoming the reality of the Lions.
Dan Miller, the biggest two conversations that they've had this season with the Detroit Lions are, one, Jared Goff, is he the guy, and two, Dan Campbell, is he going to be the guy? You talked about Jared Goff last week, and look what you saw this week again. He is proving that he can be that guy under Ben Johnson's offense. So let's talk about the other guy, Dan Campbell. How has he improved in these last 6 weeks?
I think staying the course. I don't think he's changed. I think, look, Braylon, this is what you did. If a coach in tough times starts flip-flopping and changing, you're not going to buy that.
No.
Because you're going to wonder who he is. Is he the guy that was preaching to us about what we were supposed to be doing when we were 1-6? Or is he the guy that's preaching to us about how we're supposed to do things differently now because that didn't work? I don't think he changed. I think he's the same guy now that he was at the beginning of the year. Now, look, he's gaining experience in terms of some clock management things that people have given him grief for. Decisions, the fourth down he didn't go for in Minnesota, the third down he did throw on against Minnesota this time to Penei Sewell. I think he's gaining experience. Look, if you're not getting better at doing something with reps, you're not doing it right. So it's only fair to say he's getting better, and I think we're seeing that. But look, his leadership qualities to me are the biggest strong suit that he has, and those haven't changed. And the players follow him. The players love him. The players last year, this year, nobody has ever questioned that they play hard for him. It's a great place to start. And I think that, again, there's no question in my mind right now with what he's showing, he's absolutely the guy to lead this team.
Dan Miller joins us, the voice of the Lions. Dan, I wanted to ask you about one of my favorite Lion teams was that 2014 Lion team that went to the playoffs and got the game stolen from them in Dallas. This team is a team I'm falling in love with. And to look at their future next year with 2 number 1 picks, a couple of high other picks that they're going to have as well. Take those two teams, and I know we lost Ndamukong Suh off that 2014 team, but how does this team compare to that team going forward? Do you think this team can win a Super Bowl in the next 3 years?
Look, that team in 2014 had a dominant defense. That team in 2014 had a top 10 defense since the merger against the run. And when you can do that, you can do a lot of things. And they were really good. But a couple things about that team in 2014 in that game in Dallas. Yeah, the flag was brutal. But look, you jumped up 14-0 in that game, and then you basically stopped scoring. You had chances to get stops late against Dallas in that game, and your defense, which a lot of what you built around, didn't work. They had an offensive coordinator in Joe Lombardi who did not see eye to eye with Matthew Stafford, and he was fired halfway through the next season. So I think there was some pieces that were there, but it just didn't all align and didn't all come together for them in 2014. But to your point, that's the best team that we have seen in Detroit since the teams
the
of the
90s.
90s. Yeah, so this team, look, can they win one in the next 3 years? Absolutely. If you keep building and ascending the way that this team is, and you're adding 2 number 1 picks, 2 number 2 picks to this mix, and Jared Goff is in fact your guy, the big piece to the puzzle is Goff.
Yeah.
If Goff can play like this, if Goff can be the guy, and you don't have to use your assets on, these other quarterbacks or trading up or packaging picks, that's where you're really going to make some hay. And look, the way Goff is played, if you're talking about replacing Goff at this point, I don't know what you're looking at, because who's better? Who are you going to go out and get and plug into this team that's better than Jared right now? Now, look, there's 4 games left. If he goes out there and falls apart, then people are going to start the conversation again. But look, the way he's played over the last 6 games, 1 interception, top, of the league in terms of quarterbacks over the last 6 games, I think this guy's earned the right to be called the quarterback of the Detroit Lions. It may make some people uncomfortable, but it really makes me uncomfortable if you start talking about drafting one of these rookies that I don't know that I have a lot of faith in and plugging him into a team that you think is ready to win now.
Hey, Dan, last thing for you. Just a thought on my guy, John Cominsky. I love this guy, and ever since he's played 8 games this year, the Lions are 6-2, and they've lost those 2 games by a combined 6 points. What impact. I mean, his stats aren't going to jump off the page at you, but he impacts that defensive line a great deal, does he not?
There's no question. And it's funny, I sat down with him last week and we talked about it. And, you know, he's getting cut by Atlanta and then 8 teams, which is a massive number, putting in a waiver claim on him. And the Lions got him. And something just clicked when he came here. Number one, first and foremost, he was playing inside in Atlanta. And they're letting him play a lot outside. And he feels much more comfortable there. He's a 280-pound guy. And he wasn't comfortable playing inside. So now he's outside. He's all hustle. He does get after the quarterback. He does impact the pass rush. And the most amazing thing, and this is why I talked to him about it last week, was when the Lions pass rush faltered at the beginning of the year and slowed down, everybody was like, they need Cominsky back, which is a crazy statement to make considering the guy was a waiver pickup back in May and June.
Yeah.
But it is true. He does impact that pass rush. And he's another option for Aaron Glenn to go along with Hutch and with Houston and with Pascal and with the different guys that they can plug in there. And the more guys you have that can get after a quarterback, the more guys that you can bring in with fresh legs, the better off you're going to be. And he's certainly one of them. But look, he and Isaiah Buggs are 2 guys that they basically pulled off the scrap heap and have become really big contributors to this defensive line. And look, they need to be better, so it just tells you where they'd be without them. But they have definitely carved out a role with this team with what they've done.
All right, Dan, I know you don't pick games, but they got 4 left. What's the percentage chance they win out here? Better than 50%?
I don't even know.
You're trying to pigeonhole you. Don't ask.
Is it 90%? Is it 90%?
Don't fall for it, Dan.
Dan, is it
90%?
Is it 98.5%?
Look, if they
Don't fall
play the
for
way
it.
that they've been playing, they can win these next 4 games. There's no doubt about that. But
so Dan Miller just said it's 100% that they're winning the next 4.
But the bottom line is this. They definitely dug themselves a massive hole early in the year by going 1-6. And now you've left yourself no wiggle room. So here's the thing. You can't have an off day. And teams in this league do have off days. That's what scares me a little bit. They got to be really good, really consistent, and play with a fine edge the rest of the way to get this thing done. This won't be easy. This is a really good team that has playoff thoughts of their own that they're playing against on Sunday in New York against the Jets. So, look, I love the recipe right now. I love what they're doing right now, but you have to continue to do that. There can't be any drop-off whatsoever. They started to mess around a little bit against Minnesota with all those penalties early in the game. Got to get away from that. That's what they haven't been doing. So just keep playing the way that you've been playing, and you put yourself in the best possible chance to win.
98.5% chance they win out.
Ish.
All right, Dan, thanks so much, man. We appreciate it. We'll talk to you next Tuesday.
Dan, always a pleasure.
Right,
always
thanks, Dan.
Thank you.
The great Dan Miller. Follow him on Twitter at Dan Miller Fox 2.
You only want them to win 9 of their last 10 games. That's all.
You don't have any inkling that you 2 guys know each other when he's on. Psych.
Very good. All right, guys. We got to get to a break. Is this Bread Rock or Chili right here? Chili. First message from Chili Peppers Tanning.
Yes, sir. And if you join the Chili Peppers Club, they're going to beat all competitors by $5 on unlimited tanning.
$5
and more. Plus, you get the cleanest salons in the D, and no excuse. There's a Chili Peppers Tanning near you. 27 locations and more on the way. The hottest bulbs, the hottest deals, the darkest tans. Your vitamin D headquarters. Check them out. ChiliPeppersTanning.com.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Beverly Hills Golf, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1. What's your why? More epic energy? Better sleep? Blow off steam? Step 2. Join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3. Bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
I'm Dr. Jason Olafson, DC, the founder of the Custom Health Centers, and we've helped thousands of people learn how easy it is to lose weight and keep it off with our customized weight loss and body contouring programs.
With Custom Health, you don't feel hungry, you eat well. My name is Simeon Timbuk, and I've lost 71 pounds on the program.
Call us at 844-789-THIN or visit CustomHealthCenters.com for a free consultation and get started for as little as $5 a day.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
And on pause and let's talk about Centron, the official energy drink of the Detroit Red Wings. Pre-order now your limited six-pack edition at CentronWorld.com/Red Wings. They have teamed up with basically all the professional teams here in Detroit, as well as WoodwardSports.com. Promote the city, bring the city back, re-energize the city as their mission. So let them drink it, live it. It's Centron.
And downtown Detroit is all decked out this holiday season with the return of the Cadillac Lodge and the Monroe Street Midway. The Midway's got the giant slide, those winter bumper cars, and of course that indoor arcade. But you know, if you're down there, you can always grab a drink at the Lodge before or after any Lions, Wings, or Pistons home game. Trust me, you might need it with some of these Pistons games. Just letting you know. But shop, eat, and play downtown all winter long with DeckedOutDetroit.com.
Awesome stuff. And we love having Dan Miller on. It's part of the great partnership that we have with Fox2Detroit.com now. And you'll see us on Lions Game Day Live this Sunday as well from the Meadowlands. Do they still call it the Meadowlands?
No. It's always the Meadowlands.
It's always the Meadowlands. But,
it's MetLife Stadium. But it's at the Meadowlands.
But it's always the Meadowlands.
Agreed.
Good stuff there from Dan.
By the way, just a side note on Isaiah Buggs. Played for Alabama. For those who don't know, played for Alabama. He was drafted by the Steelers in the 6th round of the 2019 draft. He went to the Raiders for 1 year, and now with the Lions. Terrific pickup, and it seems like he has found new life here or reinvigorated himself here. It's good to have him.
Right, you talk about Isaiah Buggs. We mentioned John Cominsky. I think John Cominsky is every bit as important to this defense as anybody. And you see that kind of success when he's in the game. The amount of points that the opponent scores is less than when he's not in the game.
Yeah, sometimes it doesn't matter. This is what I say about the NFL. Everybody is good. Everybody's always trying to figure out why guys don't work, why guys don't stick, why some guys don't make it out of the college ranks. NFL has a ton of good guys, but at the same time, not every system is for everybody. You talk about Cominsky and having success here. There was a player when I played for the Browns named Davin Holly. Davin Holly got there my second year in 2006. Davin was a guy floated around his first 3 years in the NFL, couldn't stay on practice squad anywhere, played one game for Chicago, I believe, in 2005, had no tackles, no stats, etc. He comes to Cleveland because we had some injuries during training camp. Davin Holly is not a starting guy in this league, or he wasn't drafted to be a starting guy. He wasn't drafted at all. Davin Holly had 6 interceptions in that 2006 season. He had 80 tackles. Like, he fit the system well, and I love Davin Holly just as much as I love Lee Biden, who was also a Detroit Lion at some point. But and he had about 6. He actually made the Pro Bowl here, I believe, but he was in Cleveland with me. Lee was hurt. We picked up Davin Holly, but Davin fit the system. He was really good with the Cleveland Browns. He showed work. He played hard. The other side of it too, Ryan, when you make it, but then you don't make it, and you get that second opportunity or that third, or in the case of the lineman, he's had a million opportunities, a million different contracts. You look at the situation differently. I believe when people come into the NFL or professional ranks, they still believe they're the same guy from high school. They believe whatever team they go to, they're going to be that guy from whatever college or institution they went to. Everything in professional ranks is about role playing. It's finding your role, assessing yourself honestly. Who am I? How am I going to fit into the NFL? How am I going to fit into the NBA? How am I going to fit with the Detroit Pistons or the Detroit Lions in this case? And I think once you failed a couple of times, like Jordan said, you got to fail to succeed. And I think once you fail, you've been waived, you now start to understand better who you are and how you're going to get it done and be honest with yourself and your franchise. That's what you're seeing Cominsky do. He's honest with himself, and he's kicking some ass.
Here is I did this as Braylon was talking. This is how quick I did this.
Oh, so you weren't paying attention?
I was talking.
I'm messing with you.
Your boy Lee Bodden. Sometimes the system just doesn't fit the player.
And he goes,
it's not about the player. It's about the system that the player is in. We talked about that with you.
Look at all the Patriots that have left here and become good again.
No doubt about it.
There you go.
Look
fit
at
any system.
Well, look at you, and I hope you don't Shannon Sharpe me on this, but if you play with a quarterback at any point over your career, you're probably a Hall of Famer.
Appreciate
or
that.
at least a perennial Pro Bowler. If you had a quarterback,
like a Super Bowl.
No offense to a couple of the guys.
I don't think they're taking
any.
any.
Right, but when John Cominsky has been out of the lineup, this defense has allowed 32 points per game. When John Cominsky is in the lineup, this defense allows 9 fewer points, 23 points a game. And when your offense is scoring 25 a game,
it's not bad.
That's pretty darn good, 23 points a game. And maybe it's not so much about Cominsky, but just about how
they play better with him.
Yeah, they do play better with him, but everybody's playing their roles, man. Everybody's in their role when you have a healthy defense. And right now, for the most part, these guys are healthy. I know Okudah is sick and Will Harris is sick and all that stuff, but that's, you get better.
One of the big things that Draymond Green talks about, and I know I'm switching sports, but Draymond Green talks about the fact, and he's very honest about this, he's actually telling the truth. The Golden State Warriors are the most successful basketball team in the last 15 years. The Golden State Warriors are having success like no other. The Golden State Warriors understand one thing, and Draymond says all the time, everybody fits a role. Everybody has a role. Once you understand your role, Ryan, Maz, then you can execute that role to the best of your abilities, and then you will be the best for your team. Draymond knows he's not a superstar, but Draymond knows he's the physical guy. He's the dirty guy. He's the guy that can fill the stat column. He's the guy that makes the other guys feel confident because he's going to be the tough guy. They don't have to get in any stuff. And he's a basketball savant, mind-wise, in terms of how he breaks it down. He's very intelligent, basketball IQ. Steph is the superstar. Clay is the secondary superstar. Sean Livingston, when they were running wings, Sean Livingston knew, hey, my job is to come off the bench 20 minutes a game, and I'm not missing any mid-range jumpers, and I'm going to make my free throws. Andre Iguodala, I'm a leader. I'm experienced. I'm a veteran. I come off, I make the big plays, and then at the end of the game, that's where I know my role. I'm crucial. Got to know what your role is and move forward. That's what you're saying from the Detroit Lions. They know what their roles are, and they're playing hard.
Guys, I'm going to take a break. Todd McShay came out with a mock draft today. I do want to address it because he's got the Lions taking C.J. Stroud at number 4.
Hell no.
And it's not the craziest thing in the world, and I'll tell you why. I don't think it's going to happen, but it is not the craziest thing in the world.
I got a better way for you.
We'll discuss it all. But first, a message from Guardian Alarm. They're your local security experts and have been for over 90 years. When you see that black and yellow sign out in front of your house, tells the bad guys one thing. That's right. Whether you are at home or on the road, they're 24/7 local monitoring. Make sure what is important to you stays safe. Call this number right here, 1-800-STAY OUT. That number again, 1-800-STAY OUT. Call them today. Tell them Woodward Sports sent you.
Get out of here.
Get out.
It's back. Year 3 of Woodward Sports Stuff-A Studio is here. The past 2 years, we've collected new unwrapped toys and stuffed our studio so we could hardly fit in it. This year, we're doing it even bigger. Join Woodward Sports and our whole family December 19th to the 23rd as we stuff our studio. While you're out shopping or just sitting on your couch ordering presents, make sure you grab one extra and drop it off at our studio, 15 Mile in Woodward and Birmingham. We'll be collecting toys around the clock to make sure every child in Mott's Children's Hospital feels the warmth of the holiday season. It's the time of year to do for others. Help us stuff our studio. Special thanks to all the wonderful elves at Meyer and Guardian Alarm for keeping the toys safe. Stuff-A Studio 2022 with Woodward Sports.
The sports marketing agency would not be who we are without great community partners like Higuera Health and Carol Zuniga.
It's an awesome opportunity to partner with your organization. Higuera Health is a comprehensive behavioral health organization. We serve children through older adults with mental health, substance use, and developmental disabilities across Western Wayne counties, and really excited to now be in downriver communities as well. Give us a call at 734-458-4601.
3 NBA championships. Detroit fans were there. 11 Stanley Cups. Detroit fans were there. 4 World Series wins. Detroit fans were there. And that one Lions playoff win in 1991? Yeah, Detroit fans were there. Woodward Sports, where the fans are.
Hey guys, wintertime in Detroit is always better with comfort foods from Big Boy.
Big Jim.
Try the classic meatloaf or the Cajun chicken Alfredo. Ryan's sticking with his Big Jim.
Oh, man,
how about
Braylon, you don't even know
That's
about the Big Jim yet.
Breakfast at Big Boy is the best. The stuffed baked potato, the potato pancakes, they are back. The lumberjack, the Santa Fe Garden, or the Blockbuster. Stop by your local Big Boy today and try them out.
Bray, I think you were in California when we were at Big Boy last week.
I was.
So I order a Big Jim because of the commercial here. We always say Big Jim. And I'm thinking it's going to be a double Slim Jim.
There was much more?
It was a Slim Jim on a Big Boy. Big Jim. Are you kidding me?
That was awesome.
This is...
Whoa, you just blew my mind.
Braylon, this was and is one of the greatest sandwiches ever created. And I am not going like
Michigan bias.
Over exaggerating here. It's one of the greatest sandwiches that's ever been created.
You killed it quick.
I couldn't get over it.
You know what you just did? You just created my post-work snack workout today, baby.
Dude, I'm
going after one on my way home.
You gotta get the Big Jim.
No post-nap today.
Hey.
Instead of calling it the Big Jim, why didn't they call it the Jim Boy?
Oh, that's what they should have called it.
Yeah, the Gym Boy.
But yeah,
sounds like Jimbo, Jim Crow.
Yeah, but they maybe had to get big in there. I don't know.
Guess so.
We're not marketing people,
We're
Maz.
not. We're so not.
We just like to eat it.
We do.
Jimbo, and name it after Jim Harbaugh. There you go.
Guys, Todd McShay came out with his mock draft today, and again, take it for what it's worth. But the Lions, he does have the Lions taking C.J. Stroud at quarterback with the number 4 overall pick, and here's the write-up. Everything fell perfectly for the Lions here, allowing them to draft their signal caller of the future without moving up. Stroud has thrown 37 touchdown passes this season, still has as many as 2 games left. He is 3rd in the nation. Jared Goff's played well under center as of late, but he's not the long-term answer. Stroud, who makes good decisions with the football, displays great touch and has a big arm, could learn behind Goff for a season before Detroit moves on and builds around the talented passer on a rookie deal. Detroit has a top 5 offense right now, and a very good supporting cast is already in place. So interesting there. My only part about this is, and they got Houston taking Bryce Young, Seattle taking Jalen Carter, number 2, and then the Chicago Bears taking Will Anderson Jr., 3rd. Those are the 3 blue chippers in this draft. If you don't have a top 3 pick, I would not take the quarterback.
Name that again.
Bryce Young,
1.
Jalen Carter,
2.
Will Anderson Jr.,
3. Okay.
Those are the 3 blue chippers.
Here's what I would do. I would take your defensive player at 4, or wherever the Rams finish. My next pick in the first round would be Will Levis.
So, Maz, I want to explore this with you. And here's where I think taking a quarterback there at 4 is not the worst thing in the world. Because unless you take Bijan Robinson, I would take Bijan Robinson at 4.
You said you would take him at 4?
I would take him
right now.
Running back right now.
With DeAndre Swift in the backfield?
Yes.
Knowing what they need on defense?
All the free agent running backs that are available, like Tony Pollard.
You remember what his comment was yesterday? His GM comment was by the lines of what they should do. So,
yeah.
Are you maybe not need to listen?
You mean running around the field with the ball?
Exactly. Guys, here's the problem. Okay, legitimately, when you're looking at it, are you going to take the 15th best player in the draft at 4? That's what we're talking about here, though, because you've got offensive tackle, defensive end. You have spent resources at your first round pick is a defensive end. Your second round pick is a defensive end. Are you going to take another defensive end? So, I mean, the best defensive tackle here, guys. I'm still looking.
I get it.
You know what I'm saying? So value.
How about corner or safety?
Okay, corner at 16. Joey. They have the
Joey
Lions
Porter.
actually taking Joey Porter.
Is he really that low? You think?
Huh?
Is he really that low?
But I'm saying, are you?
I don't know.
But once again, everybody, let's do this before you guys boil over. It's the first mock draft. It's December, so everybody kind of relax. The assessment, the assessment process, it goes from now through April. So they'll be able to assess players further as you get to April. Trayvon Walker was on nobody's list last year, ended up being the number 1 overall pick. I'm not saying he was deserving of the spot, but they felt like so after they recruited him in the college football playoff, in the national championship game. Then they went back and watched film, and then you have the pro scout and all that. But just with him with the defensive player talking about, who did you say? Bijan?
Yeah.
I got to go back to that. No to Bijan. He's number 4. We're not taking a running back at number 4. Like, you don't have to. Who was the person that told us you don't need to take running backs in the first round? It's that guy. It's that guy over there. So you don't take Bijan when you have DeAndre Swift. Thing two, I understand about the defense, but from the quarterback side of things, where C.J. Stroud, you don't take C.J. Stroud either, and here's why. Jared Goff has proven he can be the quarterback of this team under this system with Ben Johnson learning his identity together. Who knows what's going to happen once Jamison Williams is really out there, once DJ Chark is really out there, once they get the tight end that's really out there. So it's only going to get better. C.J. Stroud, look at the Ohio State quarterbacks, and it's no different this year or last year. When you play with Abuka, when you play with Marvin Harrison Jr., when you play with Jackson Smith and Jigba, Chris Olave, Garrett Wilson, when you have consistent All-American or first-team Big Ten running backs and you don't play a pro-style offense, don't be tricked and don't be fooled, because whenever we see C.J. Stroud play in the big games, he ends up with this. It's called a loss.
I totally understand what you're saying here, but I just don't know who else to take. Right now, they've got Bijan Robinson going 5, so it's not whatever. And I'm not even looking for specific.
I'll take best available
players
at 5.
Here.
Best available.
Best available at 5. So,
best available.
So would you take a quarterback then?
I'm taking my quarterback with the 2nd pick.
Okay.
Because I don't like C.J. Stroud as my guy. If you're leaving me with him,
so
I'll wait for Will Levis.
Let me just tell you the players and positions afterwards, because the pool of talent that you need, we all want a defensive player. We want defensive help. But if the Lions somehow end up with a number 4 pick, man, after those 3 blue chip guys, you're talking quarterback. I'm not even I'll tell you the positions. Quarterback, running back, quarterback, offensive tackle, defensive end, offensive tackle, Brian Brees, defensive tackle there at 10.
At Clemson.
So he's got that guy there. Then you've got quarterback again, Anthony Richardson, number 11. Quarterback.
He's 3rd round.
Tight end, wide receiver, defensive end again, offensive tackle, cornerback. You're talking about one player in the top 15 picks that you could potentially draft.
This is the thing I love about having this conversation, and this is the thing I love about being in control and not yelling like some other shows.
Who's yelling?
I just said, unlike some other shows. Pay attention, brother, before I start yelling.
I only half listen sometimes.
This is true. Once again, I'm not giving this much attention because the Lions aren't in this situation anymore. I don't have to necessarily worry about it. And thing two, it's December the 13th, Ryan. Do you know how much assessing, analyzing, testing, interviewing,
it's a talk
sitting
show.
down? It is a talk show, and I'm telling you, I'm not worried about any of that right now because there's nothing to talk about. With that right now.
All right.
Jay, we understand.
It's a talk show.
Because what happens is they run 40s. From now to the combine, they run routes, they do skill position, they do skill drills, they sit down in front of the chalk. Well, I guess you can't be sitting down. They stand in front of the chalkboard, they get interviewed by these coaches, these franchises, these front office, they get interviewed by everybody. That whole list is going to change from now until April. The big thing with the Detroit Lions is know what you need. You got to go defense. No quarterback, no running back. You got to go defense. Now, if we get closer to that April, whatever date it is this year, and it's not looking like that, well, now you got to be smart. Now you have to draft the best available player or move your pick in the case of Brad Holmes doing it before. So we'll see.
I want one player next year.
Jalen Carter.
It's a free agent, and his name is Tony Pollard. Get me Tony Pollard on this team.
I don't mind that at all.
Draft whoever the hell you want. Get me Tony Pollard on this team.
But the thing about Tony Pollard, and one question that I ask, and I think it's the same question that the Dallas Cowboys are asking themselves and the Dallas Cowboys fans, can he shoulder the load and be the guy? Because right now he's starting
They're going to mix him.
Mix him with DeAndre Swift.
Yep. Swift, you maybe even bring back Jamal.
But they're similar running backs. That's the only problem because neither one of them, well, DeAndre Swift nor Tony Pollard, they're not running through that middle. They're not bouncing up the middle. They're not running inside. They're more so bounce outside guys, and they both can catch
with Tony
out of the backfield.
On the field more.
It's very true. I agree. He does stay on the field more. It's going to be interesting. Is he going to be a guy? Because it's the same running back.
I get it.
You don't want the same running back.
Tony's probably even smaller.
There is. Mel Kiper only has one defensive tackle outside of outside of Jalen Carter, obviously.
Yeah.
One defensive tackle in the top 25 of his rankings. So that's basically what I'm saying, because that's you would want a defensive lineman or a linebacker. There's no linebackers in here either. That's why it's difficult when you're looking at a draft.
Look, when you're doing your draft this year, I'm sorry, guys. You have 2 number 1 picks. One of those picks has to be a quarterback. You need to develop a quarterback, and there's no better way to developing a quarterback than using one of your first-round picks in it. You're blessed. You have the extra pick. Take a quarterback, even if you don't think he's going to be the superstar that everyone wants. You need a quarterback to develop.
First of all, the Rams are going to win a game or two here. So you're talking about you're not going to have the 4th pick. You're going to have the
top 6.
You're going to have the 14 or 15. The Rams right now are 1 win away from the 14th pick in the draft. They're 1 win away from the 4th pick in the 14th pick in the draft right now. So I don't think they're going to lose out. So this could be all for naught. This probably will be all for naught, but they're 1 win away from the 14th pick.
Yeah, but then they 1 loss away from getting back in the top 10 again. There's
good.
a lot of teams with 4 or 5
Would you
wins.
take your 2 1s and send it up to see if somebody would take
I want one
take it for Jalen Carter or Will Anderson?
2 players I need.
No?
2 players in the first
Very
round,
good.
2 players in the second
Very
round.
good. Hey, let me tell you about Custom Health Center. They're the place that gets it done for you. Customized health approach to weight loss. Taking the willpower out of weight loss. And a great holiday gift as well. Think of all the ways that weight affects your health. Mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically. They've helped over 20,000 people achieve their goals, me included. Start losing weight today. Dr. Jason and Custom Health at 844-789-THIN. That number, 844-789-THIN.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Beverly Hills Golf, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
You don't have to go to the beach, man. You don't have to get your butt crack full of sand. You just need a little chili peppers, man, to get that glowing beach chili peppers tan. Woo!
With 26 locations in the Metro Detroit area and more coming, Chili Peppers Tanning is where you'll find the cleanest salons in the D. Join the Pepper Club for the best deals on unlimited tanning. Head to chilipepperstanning.com.
You just need a little chili peppers, man.
Jeff Okuda and Wicked Awesome Wishes present Hope for the Holidays. Jeff Okuda gives his financial support, time, and love for the city of Detroit with Chad Johnson and his amazing foundation, Wicked Awesome Wishes. Together, Jeff and Chad have been game planning all year long to make this Christmas one to remember for underprivileged children and their families. Special thanks to Lions players Amon-Ra St. Brown, Tracy Walker, Will Harris, and more, along with Lions alumni Lomas Brown and Joyak Bell, and the awesome people at Lighthouse Coolidge Community Building in Oak Park. Together, we'll make sure every child has new shoes, warm coats, hats, and socks, plus free haircuts to help everyone feel their best. And don't forget Woodward Sports' Braylon Edwards, Ryan Ermanni, and Darren McCarty will be there too. Hope for the holidays from Jeff Okuda and Wicked Awesome Wishes.
Whether you're a player or a fan, helping buy, sell, or help you invest is his top priority. Who might you ask? That's Michael Phillips, the Keller Williams legacy out of Dearborn. 23 years in the game. He knows what he's doing. Number 1 in the game. He will get you right. Whatever you want to do as it relates to the real estate game, he's there to help. 313-403-0011. Game on.
Game on. Game on in the NFL, Tom Mazawey.
I'm writing back here. I'd still take Willis. Hold on.
Oh, my God. What's happening?
I'd still take Willis as a draft pick. in the 3rd round. Yeah, guys, I would. Let's see what the kid's going to do in the future. Okay?
They hate
you guys know
Malik
more than all
Willis.
of us. I know. It's just opinions, right? We
They
all have them.
hate Malik
Monday
Willis.
Night Football last night. I went to bed the second quarter. As soon as Ramondre Stevenson went out with an ankle injury, that was the end of my fantasy hopes for that particular league. So, crap game, 27-13, 2 crappy teams. Patriots do have 7 wins, though. Cardinals lose. Their man, Kyler Murray, no one touched him. He just went down, and like Braylon talked about earlier in our show, it might just be from, I don't know, overworking those joints. No one touched him. He's on grass, and he goes down, torn ACL, out for the year. What else you got on that game, Bray?
Getting back real quick to touch on what you said with the injuries. Another part of it too, Ryan Ermanni, is guys get injured. Guys are faster than they've ever been. Guys can jump higher than they've ever been. And I don't want to piss off anybody from the 80s and 90s or my dad or the 70s.
I'm sure they'll get
there were a ton of athletic studs in those days too, but they were far and few in between. Like now, guys like quarterbacks. How many quarterbacks in this league run 4.4? At least 10 of them, at least 15 of them. You couldn't say that a while ago. How many guys are lifting this or doing this? There's a lot more athletic movements that guys are making, setting up a lot of dead leg stops, a lot of fakes. And when you try to restart, sometimes your knee or your leg or your ligament is in the wrong position. So I think with that being said, that's why you see more injuries nowadays. But in terms of the game, the Patriots, they're simplifying it for Mac Jones. Like their quarterback play on offense is terrible, or it was been terrible earlier in the year. We know why. It's because they don't really have an offensive coordinator. They tried to go the Matt Patricia route. But now what they're doing, Belichick, he's simplifying it. Running the ball, simple throws for Mac Jones. Keeping him on time. When he's in there on rhythm, 1, 2, 3, boom, he's easy. When he can't go 1, 2, 3, they struggle. On the defensive side, Matthew Judon is having just as good a year as anybody on the defensive side of football, and they're winning games in defense. That's the Patriots' way.
Hey, let's remember to ask David Underwood about that when we talk to him. David Underwood, your former teammate, now the strength coach at TCU. He's going to join us this week. I want to ask him about all these injuries that are going on, and kids specifically, what he sees coming into the college ranks, because these kids, whether you're in 6th, 7th, 8th grade, maybe even a little bit before.
Remember, Maz brought the video when the kid's on the treadmill, he's no older than 19 years old.
They're all playing one sport these days. They're all playing that sport all year round, which means you're using only those muscles for that sport, and you're not building up anything else. So that's why you see all these ACL tears in high school.
100%.
Was Underwood a beast in the weight room to be a strength coach?
No, he's naturally a big guy. He's out of Texas. Naturally, he's 6 foot. He's swole. He looks like, Herschel Walker. That's how Dave Underwood came in. He looks like Herschel Walker. But to be a strength and conditioning coach, it's nothing more than another class. I don't want to disrespect it, but it's another class. Sports science. You take the class, you learn, you see, you sit up under, you study. Hell, he studied under Mike Gilson. Now he's down there. So
Gilson.
Oh man, he was a treat, right?
You see some of these guys, man. They're crazy men.
Yeah, they
these
are.
Strength coaches.
I was there. Hold on. I was there in New York with Sal Alozzi. You know what Sal did. Remember Sal stick his knee out and tripped the player for the Vikings? So guys are intense. The strength and conditioning coaches are. He tore his ACL. He got fired.
They got to get Rick Cord out there.
Yeah, guys.
Bring Rick back.
Yeah.
Hey, Cole Beasley's back. Remember he retired, then he came back, I think with the Cowboys. They stayed one game and re-retired.
No, it was the Rams.
Was it the Rams?
No, who did he come back from?
I don't know.
Doesn't matter.
Oh, Buccaneers.
The Bucks. There you go.
Thank
Good
you.
job.
Thank you.
Oh, you're reading it.
So he re-retires. He re-retires, and now he signs with the Buffalo Bills. They put him on the practice squad.
Oh,
so Buffalo's in a little trouble, man, like we've been talking. That offense needs a spark. Maybe Cole Beasley could give it to him. I don't know.
He'll be active, maybe not this week, but the following week and into the playoffs. He's going to make an impact for Josh Allen for sure.
He waited till he no longer needed a COVID vaccine. He waited till he no longer needed it. No, but that's going to be good for them. They've struggled. They can't run the ball. If you're a team that can't run the ball, Ryan, Maz, if you can't run the ball, that means you got to pass more. To pass more, you got to have weapons. You got to have weapons at the tight end position. You got to have 2 studs, a wide out. But you know what you really need too, Ryan? You got to have that slot guy. Slot guy is not only a bailout. Slot guy gets you going a lot of the time, man. Slot guy can take advantages of you spreading them out so far. Now you're thin at defense. That's where a guy like Cole Beasley, who's one of the best slot receivers in the last 10, 15 years, that's where you have a guy like that. Now you can let them take out Dawson Knox. Now they can take away Gabe Knox. Now you can struggle with Stephon Diggs on a couple plays, but now you got that guy in the slot that is killing your linebackers, killing your strong safety, and killing the third DB that's coming in to match him in nickel. Cole Beasley, this could be a really, really, really good move for the Buffalo Bills moving forward.
Hey, some good news for the 49ers and people that just love Deebo Samuel. He is coming back. He does have an MCL sprain and a regular ankle sprain, not a high ankle sprain. They expect him back before the playoffs. That's great news.
Damn good. I mean, this is a guy that you need. Deebo Samuel was the spark that got them going last year. They don't get to the NFC Championship game without Deebo. They don't even get in the playoffs without Deebo Samuel last year. This year they're going to need him as well, especially with Brock Purdy, who actually knows this system a little bit better than people think. I mean, he played in the pro-style offense.
He was a scout guy.
He played in the pro-style offense, too, at Iowa State. A lot of people forget. These quarterbacks, a lot of time, they come in out of the spread offense. They come in out of that college system where they have 5,000 yards and they rush for 700 or 800. When they come in the NFL, they have to start again to a certain extent. Brock Purdy played in the pro-style offense at Iowa State, so could be good for him. But good news on Deebo Samuel.
I hope to God you're right about Brock Purdy, because now we're going to get to see him without Deebo.
Yeah.
You've got Brandon Ayuk, you've got Christian McCaffrey, you've got George Kittle.
That's enough.
That's plenty of weapons.
That's enough.
But Deebo Samuel is some kind of special, not to mention that 49ers vaunted defense, the best defense in the NFL.
Who got mad this past weekend? Jerry Rice. Why did he get mad? Why are we running our franchise player up the middle, running him and using him? Remember last year? He was gassed in the playoffs because they were using him everywhere. You got to take it easy on a guy with that kind of size.
You definitely do, Ryan. That's why I keep telling you, like, I'm so nervous about the Buffalo Bills. Look, I'm not a Bills fan, but I think at somewhere, some down, everybody's a Bills fan because you love Bills Mafia. But just watching the Bills, you're just waiting for Josh Allen to get hurt. You're just waiting for it. Knock on wood, I hope the guy never gets hurt and has a long career, but you're just waiting for the guy to get hurt because they use him in every freaking situation. Now, I understand what what Jerry is saying, but there's ways you can use guys in that, because Jerry wasn't complaining last year when the 49ers were almost in the Super Bowl.
Right.
So there's a level where you could do some of that, but you don't have to necessarily do all of that, and I think the 49ers are going to learn that lesson.
God, Thursday's such a big game for the 49ers, for the Lions, for the Giants,
for the Seahawks,
for the Seahawks, for the Commanders, for the NFC.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
Seahawks hosting the Niners. That's a playoff game.
It's a huge game.
No Deebo,
it is
no
gonna
Garoppolo.
It is going to set up the weekend, man, because you've got.
We need the Niners.
Oh my God, you got the Vikings on Saturday. I mean, look.
Yeah.
The Vikings
play the Colts.
Do you imagine if the Vikings lose out?
Yeah, I can imagine.
Seriously, I could too. They are. If you look at the standings,
I want them as the two. I want them as number 2.
Let me tell you something about the Vikings real quick, okay? They're 10-3. They're a -1 in point differential.
Even the Lions are a plus.
The Lions are a +2. You want to talk about the Philadelphia Eagles? +138. The Dallas Cowboys +131, and the San Francisco 49ers +120. That's how many more points they've scored than they've allowed. The fraudulent Minnesota Vikings, 10-3, -1.
Every game you watch the Minnesota Vikings, with the exception of maybe one, you're literally waiting to see who's going to win until the clock strikes 0-0-0.
The number 7 team will beat Minnesota if they're the number 2
By the
team.
way, there's only 5 teams right now in the NFC that have a plus point differential. The Eagles, the Cowboys, the 49ers, the Seahawks, and your Detroit Lions.
Which says a lot considering how many points they gave up in the first half of the season.
We're going to take a break. We'll close it out next. First, a message from Moneyball. Go Lions, baby!
You know what? I don't even have to read things when I'm wearing these things. And oh, by the way, with Moneyball, no. This is Des Ferguson didn't give me this and say go sponsor. Hey, give me the red one yesterday. JB, did I buy this with my own cash?
Yeah.
My own money. JB was there Black Friday. I bought this, and guess what? When I tell you it's the best fitting of athletic apparel, it is, because I wear it all the time. I love it. Whether you want to get some athletic apparel or you want to get your team fitted. Maybe you want to get your AAU team, your middle school fitted, or your high school. Moneyball will do it all. In between 12 and 13 on Southfield Road, they do an amazing job. It is it's quality over quantity. MoneyballSportswear.com.
Hey, we are going to give away. Never mind.
Year 3 of Woodward Sports Stuff-A Studio is here. The past 2 years, we've collected new unwrapped toys and stuffed our studio so we could hardly fit in it. This year, we're doing it even bigger. Join Woodward Sports and our whole family December 19th to the 23rd as we stuff our studio. While you're out shopping or just sitting on your couch ordering presents, make sure you grab one extra and drop it off at our studio, 15 Mile in Woodward and Birmingham. We'll be collecting toys around the clock to make sure every child in Mott's Children's Hospital feels the warmth of the holiday season. It's the time of year to do for others. Help us stuff our studio. Special thanks to all the wonderful elves at Meyer and Guardian Alarm for keeping the toys safe. Stuff-A Studio 2022 with Woodward Sports.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1. What's your why? More epic energy? Better sleep? Blow off steam? Step 2. Join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3. Bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
What's a winter wonderland if you can't shop, eat, and play? Lucky for you, you can do it all at the Downtown Detroit Market, Cadillac Lodge, and the new winter version of the Monroe Street Midway, all located just across the street from Campus Martius Park. Find the fun at deckedoutdetroit.com.
We aren't quite sure if they consume more beer or sports. Either way, the heavyweights are here. Live on Woodward Sports, daily 5 to 7 p.m.
With the holiday season here, Swiss Insurance wants to remind you to insure gifts of jewelry or collectibles. In the last 2 weeks, Swiss has saved up to 26% on their insurance premiums while increasing their coverage. A lot of money freeing up for the holiday season. It is the giving season. So why don't you make sure you're supported through Swiss Insurance Group. Happy holidays.
ESPN showing highlights of Christ the King in Sierra Canyon. Those high schools may be meaningless to you other than the fact that LeBron James' son and Carmelo's son facing each other. So it's pretty interesting to see those images. Braylon, we've got some housekeeping duties to get to today.
Yes, we do. Maz, you want to set it up?
Yeah, Maz.
I do. Hey, if you follow Woodward Sports on Twitter and Instagram, we do these jersey giveaways. Well, after Sunday, Jamison Williams scored his first touchdown as a Detroit Lion, caught his first pass as an NFL player. So we said, you know what? Retweet and like Woodward Sports, and we're going to give one lucky winner Jamison Williams Lions jersey.
Look at that, Lions, baby.
And we got our winner, Ryan. Who is it?
Our winner in the Jamison Williams like situation.
Hold that thing up, baby.
Jensen Thompson.
Jensen Phillips. Jensen Phillips. EMU alum from Novi, Michigan. Jensen Phillips.
There you go.
You are going home with a Jamison Williams Lions jersey. We do this every week. We're giving jerseys away.
Right.
All you got to do is tell your friends, follow Woodward Sports, follow on woodwardsports.com on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, and you will have a chance to win yourself a jersey.
Now, since Jensen is an EMU grad, would it have been better to give him a Charlie Batch jersey?
Oh, Batch.
Would that have been better? You like that pull?
I
Maybe
do.
Hey,
TJ
Lang.
We got you covered.
TJ Lang.
Very good. Good
I love
stuff.
it, man. Hey, guys, did you realize we're playing this year Super Bowl 57 is going to be in Las Vegas?
Yeah.
Do you know that the Denver Broncos won Super Bowl 50? They beat Cam Newton and the Panthers. They have not made the playoffs since that day.
And they're not going to make it
Eliminated from the playoffs again this past weekend. Let's ride, Broncos country.
Oh,
they have
man.
not made it in 7 freaking years.
Boy, if you're what's the head coach's name there? Pete Carroll?
Yeah.
If you're Pete Carroll.
You mean for Seattle?
No, for Seattle.
For Seattle.
Nathaniel Hackett.
Seattle, yeah.
Yeah, you're just laughing.
They stole their
Aren't you
pick.
laughing?
They're picking seconds.
You saved yourself probably $200 million.
Yeah.
And you
And you're essentially about to win the division, or you have a chance to win the division.
Oh, man, I don't even know what kind of analogy you can come up with that.
Because there isn't one. Because it's fleecing to a whole new level. It sucks. The Bronco Bills.
One of the greatest trades in sports history.
Denver Broncos, when you win, it's hard. Like they tell you all the time, win is hard to keep because you look at all the money that they spent out over that time period. But you got to keep some players. It's like the Broncos were doing a fire sale on all their players. Now they have no one.
No doubt about it. Good stuff, man. This is a fun show today.
It was.
Check back with us. We're going to have that Dan Miller interview isolated later on the website, woodwardsports.com.
There's your favorite picture again.
Oh, I love this.
There it is.
Thank you for watching.
Hey, look, like if I was, it looks creepy if you just like look over yourself. Oh, shoot.
Dang, man.
Oh my God!
Yeah. Hell of a show by you guys, man.
What a beauty!
Hell of a show. We're doing our thing, JB and Fletch. Yo, if you're out there, watch some World Cup. I watched World Cup watching Argentina. Lionel Messi beating Croatia as we speak. That game was amazing on Thursday or Friday, was it? It's just so much emotion.
How do you end a game in penalty kicks after you played your ass off?
Well, you played for 4 hours. Like,
I don't care.
You got to do it
play
somehow.
If someone wins.
Go to the
But that's
doctor
the
if it
rules,
lasts
though.
longer than 4 hours.
At least the rules are consistent with them. They don't change the rules because people complain.
Oh, that's
JB
stupid.
got it.
You said what?
They're stupid.
No, because you can't do that because you've been playing since the Olympics.
Hey,
As long
World
as
Cup
it's been
on
around.
Fox 2. We appreciate everybody on fox2detroit.com.
Fox 2, we appreciate you. Check out some World Cup. Diversify your portfolio. We love you, Ermanni Edwards with the main man mask.
You know what time it is.
Let's shoot free throws in the NBA to decide a champion.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.